Let's send things outside to meteorologist Cedric Haynes right now for more on the history of inaugurations.
Yeah, Chris, I'll tell you what, we've come to know Inauguration Day on January 20th every 4 years since about 1937. Now, believe it or not, before 1937, going all the way back to 1817, Inauguration Day was actually held in March on March the 4th. Now, as you can imagine, during that entire time, we've had some extreme weather days, some good days and some bad days that happen to just luck up or line up during that time. Let's take a look at some of those here. We'll start off with the coldest Inauguration Day. Who gets the award for the coldest inauguration day? Well, as you can see there, that would be President Ronald Reagan there in 1985. It was a frigid 7 degrees as he was getting sworn in. Now, keep in mind, that was his second ceremony. So that was his second turn there. And of course, that forced the ceremony inside, and the parade was actually canceled because it was so cold for that event. Now let's talk about the warmest. Can you guess who had the warmest inauguration day on record here in January? Guess who that could be? If you guessed President Ronald Reagan, you would be correct. That's his first ceremony there in 1981. It was a balmy 55 degrees as he was sworn in. Now, a side note to that, though, the hottest inauguration actually goes to President Ford, who took over for Nixon, and that was back in August 9th, 1974. He was sworn in at noon in August, and it was a balmy 89 degrees there. So that technically is the hottest day, inauguration day, but that was, of course, in August. Now, the snowiest, that goes to President Howard Taft. His ceremony was moved inside as well, but they still had the parade outside, back in 1909, where they had almost 10 inches of snow during a blizzard there. In fact, they had about 58,000 tons of snow that was actually carted off by 6,000 workers manually. They were just kind of built differently back then. They didn't really care about the cold and snow, apparently. And the wettest one on record would be President Franklin Roosevelt back in 1937. They had a cold, wintry mix that went over to a rain event. It was kind of a washout back in 1937. They had almost 2 inches of liquid from that system there. But still, the parade outside took place. And of course, as you mentioned earlier, Chris, today in D.C., it wasn't too bad. A pretty decent day considering all the extremes that they had. Had a few flurries right around noon, but otherwise, the sun was out and it's a pretty decent day. Of course, we'll be following what happens in the years to come. In about 4 years, we'll do this all over again.
Love that patriotic weather report. Thank you, Cedric.